Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Part 21. In the previous video we began the first day of the trial of guy Bruce Goodman, who was murdered. We're defending old Lanus guy, who we're trying to figure out if she has gloves in this picture. The world may never know the answer to this question. Surgical gloves, made of thin rubber, most likely. Why did you get those? Don't look like surgical gloves. Those are like thick leather gloves, weirdo. It was not premeditated. She would not be wearing those gloves. What if she wears them all the time, dummy? Just like you wear that stupid ruffle. That doesn't mean like you go out premeditated to look like an idiot. It's just a byproduct of your style. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned and the rubber gloves prove it. Objection, speculative? What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder, the only possible conclusion one can make. Can I get this evidence? Everything was planned. It was premeditated crime. Ugh. Impressive! I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr, with 2 R's. This is bad. He's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I gotta think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You keep saying that. Said that before. Scientifically, we're fucked. Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit. So the new line is probably our avenue of attack. The murder was planned. If the murder was planned, why then would she make a panic phone call to her sister? Let me look at this again. Those are not surgical gloves, okay? Look how, like, dark they are. I don't buy it. Okay, that was maybe a bit of a stretch. They aren't, are they? That was one of those, like, it pops in your head, and then you're like, you gotta go with it. You can't think about it, you gotta trust your gut. Okay. Rubber gloves prove it. If it was premeditated, how did she get her hands on Edgeworth's knife? Yeah, that makes way more sense. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know? That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk? Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? Yes, but don't let anyone know I told you that. The defense has a request. He has the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? Your testimony. Emma, get the boombox ready. Get the boombox ready. You stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. That's why she was wearing those special gloves? Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, we're almost there. Emma, get ready. Why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon? Not yet, not yet. Hold. The knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Go! Ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon! The boombox music bit is definitely my favorite of the recurring bits. Order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free, not? Right. Yeah, right. She's going free. I'll believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie, as the kids say. What? Hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. I mean, granted, then you're just arguing over whether or not, like, you're arguing over whether it's, like, you're not arguing over whether she committed murder or not. You've actually already given up the premise. You're saying, like, yeah, maybe she killed him, but it couldn't have been premeditated. Prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. What do you mean, degrees of murder? Shut up! Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. You think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Again and again? Oh, you've lost. Lost. You've lost. You're a dumb idiot lady. So I've ordered a pizza. Does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? Yes. If they're late, yes. You're legally allowed to kill them. In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. And we'll press first. A human machine? That's a contradiction! Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's sigh smells like citrus fruit. What? You say again and again. How many times did you stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that. This is a murder case, people! Mr. Wright, you should speak up on it if you have an objection, you know. I mean, it does say... Is it the autopsy file? Yeah, 1 knife wound. Challenging our abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax, and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay. You're about to get blasted. Do you have any words before you're blasted? I'll hear your last word in testament before you get absolutely destroyed. Emma, your part's almost coming up. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. 84 times 3 with my moss surprise. Afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr, with 2 R's. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. Autopsy report states the death was due to a loss of blood from 1 stab wound. Ha ha ha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really, but we're the one who said it. Shut up, Wright. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Yeah. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim, and that's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. And tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! The red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. A red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck, does she? Does she? Does she? Ho 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 ho! So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. Right. Wait. Does she? No, she ain't got no frickin' scarf. What you talking about, dude? Get out of here with that bullshit. But wait. Isn't it odd you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Do we? Judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. Oh, there's a bib right there. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. I haven't had a chance to get a new one forged yet, so we have to stick to the facts. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? She's turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. You know. Hey, I'm gonna try the picture. Miss Starr with 2 R's, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? Suspect was not wearing a scarf or a muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. Edgy, why are you helping us again? We don't need your help, stupid, dumb idiot. We're better than you. And you've proven it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a professional lunch lady would be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. I guess since maybe Edgeworth also thinks she's being framed, that he doesn't wanna, he's like throwing for us. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. Was my objection chopped liver? But it was there. Scarf, no, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? Witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. Most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. Next testimony might just be the moment of truth. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. But the fence, dude. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The prosecutor made to escape, but again, Angel Starr with 2 R's. Resistance is futile. And you are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. The second R. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is kind of like a snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. He knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Row. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Hey. I feel like this is a pressing time because nothing. I mean, I see an angle of attack, but it's not so obvious that I feel like we should immediately present anything. So, where is this partition on the floor plans? Sure, you mean this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? You You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Yeah, press her. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lynchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing! The call from Queen Lunch Lady Athlete indeed! It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. But she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. I thought it went all the way up to the wall, but yeah, it doesn't. How did this guy not get away? How did she not get away? She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Okay, the phone. Muffler. What word could it be besides muffler? Because I feel like maybe that's what it's... Maybe she was saying something different that sounds like muffler, but then again, that's maybe could run into like a translation issue, right? Where if the word she was saying, like in the original like Japanese, sounded like some other Japanese word that wouldn't like translate well, so I don't know if that's what they're going for here. Her phone? She can't mean... Do you mean this cell phone discovered at the scene of the crime? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory. It's like a salmon headed upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. Chief Prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right, it didn't work. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. So she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness! Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Word muffler was heard. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? I was going to ask the same thing. I only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Okay, stabbed the victim, ran behind the partition. It was out of order. Pulled her on cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. When I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. You saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? One second, I'll be right back. Alright, back, just had to reply to something really quick. Chief Prosecutor, this is a new line, alright? She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras. You know. She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? She wanted to escape. Why didn't she run the other way? The parking lot entrance. That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run? I'm sorry my sister's so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it! You have to believe me! I don't know. So we caught her. We had to use her cell instead. You think you could restate your testimony? Okay, I didn't really want to do that. So much for only doing it one more time. Okay, boldly, she hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? I just can't think of what's he getting at? What's going on in that spiky head of his? Name, Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Only use numbers, what else would they use? Letters, silly! ID, yabba dabba doo. See, wouldn't that be better? Yabba dab, what? Has a certain ring to it. Exactly my point. Doesn't take much to amuse her. Okay, now that diversion's over with. So she called at 5:18. At 5:18. I don't know the answer, but I'm pretty sure it got to do with the phone. Word muffler was overheard during a call. This evidence is clearly contradictory, Your Honor. Okay, yeah. Made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. Now, I mean, we did find this closer to the door, not near where she was supposedly, not near the partition. Like, it was found closer to the telephone. Try to use... Okay, let's do this one more time. Standing there, she runs over to the telephone. Picked up the phone, but it was out of order. She pulled out her cell phone... Yeah, okay, so she couldn't have been seen? Is that what they're trying to get at? When I boldly grabbed her arm, Chief Prosecutor hung up her phone. Saw her doing this. Maybe that's what they're getting at? That, like, the line of sight would have been blocked? Ah, dang it, I hit the wrong button. Because, I mean, he's saying saw her. Where do we even pick up the telephone? I don't even remember. Wasn't it? It was next to the car, right? Like, it was on the other side of the partition. Whereas it's showing her getting arrested on the other side. Let's try this one more time. Okay, we gotcha. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Elena Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. What are you talking about? Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, Mr. Prosecutor? You, who together with the Chief Prosecutor kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, because at first, like, I was thinking that it was she saw the phone when she grabbed her arm, like that's what caused her to hang up. You couldn't possibly have seen Miss Guy making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. Indeed, you were in B block. You couldn't have seen it! Play track 2, Emma. Play track 2! Oh, order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies! That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. You already know the joke. What are the 3 wacky digits on the back of your credit card? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. And here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. Witness lied about... where she saw it? Where she saw it. Because the phone was found next to the car. Not behind the partition. So I'm gonna say where. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. I feel like this is wrong. But say the witness did actually see Miss Guy using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. Oh yeah, that's what I was getting at. A different location. Now, that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Or you call my lie pointless. At least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? Ah. The security room. The place. The security room. Hiya! This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. Built on the 2nd floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are so many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? I think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Guilty? She talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. Wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. This was the defendant who stabbed the victim. Yeah, so that means someone else took that photo then. Because, I mean, you can see that it's taken from the other side of the chain link fence. That or was taken at a different time. Objection! It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? The witness is found to be lying. They're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't take that risk without a good reason. So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. I'm dying to know. Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Witnessed the crime at the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Angle to view the crime. Distance to the crime. Difference in lighting. I mean the angle, right? You'd be seeing her from behind. So... why, the angle at which you saw the crime occur would change. The angle? The angle, the dangle, what do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the 2nd floor, and, you have sort of like a more 3D view of the crime. Never seen Avatar, Your Honor? Why is this important? Perhaps you'd like to reconsider, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. The lighting? What? I don't see... What was the other one? It was lighting and... The distance? Why is the distance important? I mean, it's really kind of the same distance, though. Difference in lighting? I mean, maybe for the photo? So that it seems more like blood? But I don't know anything. I don't see anything about, like, can we... Did it even list the lights on the floor plan? I mean, because the distance is approximately the same. I'm gonna say lighting? It's a difference in lighting. What, lighting? What does that mean? Well, it means, see, the security guard... So... It's not, there's no difference in distance, though. That's so dumb. It's an equal distance from where she said she saw it from B block. Changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plan and it's quite clear. The distance, yeah. That's what I was saying. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. How long? I mean, shouldn't the bigger question be the fucking picture? Like, the picture being taken from the other side of E block, where you can see the chain? Like, that's the real issue here. Not this. How long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? Quality of my lunches is going from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry. For the boyfriend. Delicious. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. Before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked and I couldn't open it. I mean, I feel like that would take longer than 3 minutes. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking lot in B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes, eh? 5 minutes? That's how long it takes for one of my microwavable pizzas to heat up in the microwave. This changes things considerably. There's that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. What defendant's chair? I knew it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. Holds up spork. And the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. That's right, you have to do something. Do you have any evidence? Get objected on, nerd. 5 minutes between... I mean, so we are, like, at, like, failure status. But part of me is like, I should save? You know what? Savings for the week. If I gotta redo this entire trial, I'll redo the entire trial. I don't know what happens if you fail. Actually, does it make you redo the entire thing, or what? Or does it just make fun of you and, like, refill your meter? You can make a pasta in that amount of time. If you'd like it al dente, you know. I got lunch boxes that tie pastas into knots, rookie. What are you talking about? 5 minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? You are a criminal? What would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone yet. You have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. This guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yarg! Avast ye mateys! Well then, seems to come to the end of this testament. Wait, what? I thought we'd have to, you know, bring up the 5-minute break and the phone and everything again. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Shit, dude, no. I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that, and not gonna lie, can shut, I saw can as another C-letter word with one extra letter in it. That was too close. Pray that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Okay, we're apparently holding it. That did seem a little sudden. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the ones you tried to foist off on me. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of our trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. With 2 R's. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony, at least until I finish these lunchboxes. Let's, hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. You're gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time. That did seem like a very sudden ending. Okay. Now, the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lena Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. I mean, if it's just the blood type that matched, that means nothing. There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with the evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Whoever smelt it dealt it, and finders keepers, losers weepers. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. I mean, they kind of just make up the law as they go in this game. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. I mean, I'd ask the defendant, the witness, to officially shut up. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Once again, who knows? They kind of just make things up as they go along. You could at least study some evidence law, really. Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. And we all know the second rule of evidence law. You don't talk about the evidence. It seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure the guilty are properly judged. Okay. So where did the blood from Lena come from? Alrighty. Gotta take this slow and steady. You know, we're on a, you know, match point right now. Why'd you lie about this 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. The trial would have been over very quickly if we didn't drag this out. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book, but they're on your side this time. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it. But false testimony is the most stickable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And now to the matter of the victim's shoes. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found in the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. You found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful. I was waiting for the police to arrive, so I took off her shoes. Like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor. Was she even wearing shoes? My lady ain't even got those shoes on. She's got different shoes. Like, I guess that, well, the heels look thicker in this picture, but that's probably just like an artist difference. The shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed the valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now, tell us what you did next. 2 types of blood were found in the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lena Skye. So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. Got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. Shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. The man was stabbed after all. That blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people with the same blood type. If you're just testing for type of blood, that means literally nothing. Well, speak up. And also, you know, an actual DNA test would take, like, a long time to conduct. You wouldn't be able to do it in a day. Shut up, idiot! Blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB, and technically there's more than that, but don't ask any questions. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow down any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear, but like, was it that type of test? That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. As I said, there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lena Skye's. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Okay, flawless, decisive evidence. Can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she isn't enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you want to go eat soup later tonight? I mean, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? Okay, I do feel like I need to save just for the sake of my own sanity in case we lose. A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? I mean, there's gotta be a problem. I'm not imagining things. I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. It's usually pretty cool, especially when he plays that boombox. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with the evidence. There being blood on the soles? I'm gonna say blood on the soles. Take that! What if you noticed? There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Kinky. Indeed, there's quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. Makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about the blood on the bottom of his shoe? Problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Notice that the bottom of the victim's shoe was covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange that there weren't any bloody footprints found on the scene of the crime? See, that's what I'm talking about, dude. This shit's so cool. As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Oh, order! 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 Well, witness. What? Huh? Right going, Mr. Wright, but it's true the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we only have to ask why wasn't there a footprint? Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think! Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? Activate the spirit realm? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's no vital hint of the truth in her testimony. Oh, there's one vital hint. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspects. Chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Oh, the water, maybe? Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. But, apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, what? Was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? I don't get it, Mr. Wright. You want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. This is nonsense. This means absolutely nothing? The picture was taken before the oil drum was knocked over, and there was no blood on her feet or bloody footprints then. So, shut up, nerd. To erase the bloodstains that would have become evidence against her. Ugh. That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie are quite cluey to this murder. Then, after her deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Well, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when... I've forgotten about that. My sister's blood got on that shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please! What can I do? Take off your pants, quick! Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There's no need for further debate. Your verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Starr's on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Ms. Lena Skye. Objection. Hold it. Little girl. What did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Starr, with a second R, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints? Well. I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called Evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. Dude, how long is this fucking trial, dude? Time for deliberations has passed. Any further comments and you'll be held in contempt of court. I was kind of thinking this might be like a shorter video, because, like, I didn't think I had the vocal endurance to go for an hour, but it's, you know, I wanted to at least finish the trial. It just keeps going and going and going. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this. How many fucking photos do you have, lady? A photograph? I had it just in case anyone else had the gall to suggest the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. Wait, you just said it belonged to her. Now you're saying it's the victim? Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. Sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I know I couldn't win in this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. Sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not? Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not till the bitter end. Never give up. Never surrender. Do a barrel roll. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. And don't you dare interrupt me for dramatic effect. God damn it. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts of peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? My pizzas, dude. No, it cannot. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over yet, until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So right. Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Am I wrong? I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph. Well, seems kind of interesting. I mean, my heart says the water. But what's in the muffler? Oh, that's what they mean by muffler. There's something hidden in the muffler, but I don't know if that's what they want. I don't know if they want the water or if they want what's hidden in the muffler. I'm gonna try it. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. I wonder if that's why they chose the word muffler for scarf instead of saying scarf. Seems kind of like a... I mean, like, I think I've heard of those things referred to as mufflers before, but very, very rarely. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or a scarf of any kind in this photograph. Muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's this suspicious looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing, absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Dude, my voice is dying. Let's see what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth and the muffler is related to this case. Take that! Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler? Ugh! Oh god, I can't do that. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Destroyed. Mentally eviscerated. Well, seems I'll just suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I found myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, we do a disservice to the law. We've suddenly had to start caring about that since this Phoenix Wright fella came around. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But we made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for 30-minute recess. 30 minutes? Come on, dude. That's I gotta stop. I can't go anymore. This is the closest thing we're gonna get to a stopping point. If I talk any longer, I'm gonna like die. So, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.